You are listening to Connections, a place to learn about and celebrate creative approaches to healthcare, education, and wellness. Each week, we explore new ways that creativity can reach and connect individuals in all stages of health and wellness. Join us as our host, Bree Gordon, board-certified music therapist and managing partner with the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, interviews professionals, volunteers, and community members from healthcare and educational backgrounds. If you are at home or near a computer, you can join us via live streaming video at facebook.com/connections by Aria. We hope you enjoy the program and find new ways to bring the joy of creativity into your life and the lives of those you love. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon, board-certified music therapist here locally in beautiful Southeast Florida with the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm so glad you found us, whether it's at our new home at 95.3 FM on 1470 AM or on Facebook Live at our page, facebook.com/connections by Aria. If you are home safely, not driving in your car, you can check us out there. We've got video streaming live. If you need to step away or you missed any other programs, you can check everything out there. Everything is archived and can be rewatched, rewound, whatever you want to do. We also love to hear from you. So if you are on social media, you have any questions throughout the program or any questions or suggestions, I want to learn from you all as much as I love sharing and learning from the guests that I have here in the studio. So please chat us up on Facebook. You can also call into the show, 888-565-1470. If you have joined us on an awesome night, again, if this is your first time, I just want to let you know what you're in for. For 1 hour a week, I get the absolute joy and honor of talking to people who are out in our community, whether they're professionals, volunteers, or caregivers, who are using creativity and outside-the-box approaches to help others reach their health and wellness goals, as well as their educational goals. And today is really kind of cool because we're combining a few different things. I have one of my favorite humans in the studio today, and she is not only an artist, a graphic designer, so creative by nature and by profession, but also is kind of in this newfound love and just joy of her life as being a health coach. So we're going to talk about her professional influence and how she's influencing others, but also how does just adapting a healthy lifestyle, and whatever that means for you, feed and promote our own creativity. I am feeling super guilty, so I'm just going to come out and say this right now. I've been looking forward to this show. I have been, reading up on Jessica and the things she does, and I'm like, yes, okay, I got to get prepared for this show, right? So I went back to the gym, and I started doing all these great things, and I've been watching how much water I take in to make sure I'm hydrated. And then today, I ate a double quarter pounder. And then I went to Starbucks, and not only did I get a terribly sugary drink, but there were these marshmallow bars there too. And I thought, well, they're gluten-free, so that should be fine. Yep. So ask me how great and energized I look as I'm dabbing all of the eye makeup on before the show today. Hey, I wonder if that has any effect. Yeah, she's laughing at me right now. So I'm going to learn. My point of this story is I am going to learn along with everyone today. And maybe you already know all this. Maybe you are listening and watching. You're like, yeah, no kidding. You're a little bit sluggish. You just poisoned your body all day. I know. I hear you. I know. I want to hear from you. What are your tips? As a business owner, as someone who works in the field, I don't have an office. My office is my car. I'm driving all over the place all day. I don't pack a lunch. I try to, pack little snacks here and there, but the odds are if I get a lunch, if I take a lunch, it's on the road, it's in the car, I'm eating the burgers between the buns. I mean, I'm doing all sorts of things. Look, I'm just coming clean, okay? I'm just putting it all out there. I want to know, and I'm sure others want to know out there too, if you're not in a place where it's easy to access a fridge, to have your lunch prepared, or go downstairs and get a nice salad from the cafeteria, how do you maintain this healthy pattern? Dinners are different, right? You're home, maybe if you're preparing a meal for your family or you eat a meal as a family, maybe you'll make healthy food for your children, right? Or for your partner, but kind of don't worry about yourself the rest of the day. I mean, there's different stages of all of this, and it's a spectrum. Health is a spectrum, just like exercising and physical activity is also a spectrum. And beyond that, beyond even the food that we ingest and that we put in our bodies, we're also going to talk about what the environment, how that impacts us. The things that we're using to clean. So again, as my work as a music therapist, I need to clean my instruments between every time they are used by a client. They're being held by someone. I know people are coughing. They may put something in their mouth. These things happen. I've got to use them in my next session. How do I clean them? I know it's harsh. I know it's harsh when I'm coughing using it. When I can just smell it in my car, the cleaner that I'm using. Again, I'm doing this all day today thinking, after this show, this show is the one I'm going to get it all out of my system now. All these bad habits. But of course, that's not always realistic either, right? We're going to talk about that too. How to slowly introduce change into your life and build and grow from that. So I'm counting my triumphant return to the gym as the beginning steps. It's a step in the right direction. Jess is giving me nods. I like it. I feel validated. Thank you. 2 thumbs up. Yes, we're on the right track. So all of this in celebration of Earth Day. Earth Day was last Saturday. So I've been doing a lot of Earth Day themes in all of my sessions this week. So I work mostly with seniors with neurodegenerative diseases. So I've been working with individuals with Alzheimer's, with Parkinson's on some Earth Day musical themes and talking about different ways that we can honor the planet we live in, especially when we're in, again, beautiful South Florida and can just look out our window and instantly feel gratitude for the beauty of the earth around us. But I did a really kind of an interesting thing that I wanted to share with my oncology support group today, which is a group of adults mostly in their, I would say, 40s to 70s is like the range of the group. And just amazing, amazing individuals that I've talked about before on the show because they just inspire me every day with their strength and their grace and how they support one another. And I know they're dealing with a lot. I know they are. And I'm so honored by the fact that they, with all of their appointments and all of their pain and all of their responsibilities, find time for themselves and share that time with me. And so I wanted to honor that today by giving them some coping strategies along this theme of Earth Day and utilizing what's free around us and what can come from within us to bring themselves some peace, to help them ground themselves in moments when they might feel overwhelmed. So we talked about getting engaged with the 5 senses. So we talked about how we rely on vision. Most people shared that was their primary sense that they rely on, both for negative and positive stimuli. We talked about smell and explored some different essential oils, which is a whole nother show. And I talked about touch. So I just want to share a little bit about how we integrated music with the touch and sound, because I thought it was really cool, and maybe somebody, listening or viewing tonight, this might be something helpful to either you or those that you love. So I had everyone, because they shared that they were so reliant on their vision, close their eyes, and I placed an instrument in their lap. And I asked for a few moments of silence to just feel the instrument I put in their lap, whether it was a tambourine or a drum or a maraca or a cabasa or claves, whatever it was. And just to feel it, not to play it, not to listen to it, but just the weight, the texture, the feeling of it. And then after a few moments, I asked them to keep their eyes closed and started with the guitar and asked them to join and play along and be aware of the sounds around them. What sound did they hear to their right, to their left? Did they hear the same instrument they had anywhere in the group? And for a while, and we improvised for a while on the instruments, then I asked them to open their eyes. And it was really neat for them to see. Many of them had an idea of what they were holding, what they were playing after a while. But to have a visual input with the different sounds that they heard. And again, how that was different when we take that primary sensory input of vision away and are really forced to rely on our other senses, and my follow-up to that was, were you thinking about anything else? Were you thinking about that doctor's appointment coming up, or that call you might receive about your loved one who's in the hospital, or whatever the stressors may be? And the resounding answer was no. I was focused on the moment. And we talked about how we could use music at home, outside of this moment, to really ground ourselves, especially when we're talking about creating music live in the moment. You can't predict what's going to happen next. And a lot of group members said that they felt much more comfortable, less stressed when they stopped trying to be perfect and stopped trying to play on the beat next to the person with them and just to feel it and just to express themselves. And it was just a really, really cool moment. Just reminded me that we don't need to be classically trained musician or a professional painter or a accomplished dancer or a graphic designer or any of these fancy professional titles to benefit from what can come from our creativity, what's at our fingertips, what's free, what we can get inspired by just by stepping outside and appreciating Earth. And you know what? Earth Day is one day a year. These are things that you can do every day, even if it's just a little 5-minute walk. So we're going to do really quickly our sing-along for the day. If you've been following me on social media or on the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute page, you've already heard me do this song. I hope you're not sick of it. I just think it's the perfect Earth Day song, and I think you know it. So hopefully wherever you are, I hope you'll sing along and join me. This is Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi. Took all the trees, put them in a tree museum, and charged all the people $1.50 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Pave paradise, put up a parking lot. Say farmer, farmer, put away DDT now. Spots on my apples, believe me, the birds and the bees. Please, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Pave paradise, put up a parking lot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Pave paradise, put up a parking lot. Well, they paved paradise, put up a parking lot. So glad you're here joining us tonight. Don't touch that dial. Don't move that Facebook feed. You are going to love my guest today. Jessica Royston is here to talk about all things creativity and healthy living. Stick around. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Are you a music therapist or part of the music therapy community? If so, we're excited to announce Aria. Aria is a mobile app that provides tools, resources, and community for today's modern music therapist. You can plan, implement, and share music therapy interventions with the community, keep track of your schedule and contacts, and learn from other members in our community section. Best of all, Aria is free. Visit arianow.com to get started today. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon, and I have with me tonight, as I shared earlier, one of my favorite humans. So excited to have you here. Jessica Royston, Graphic designer at Almost Island, right?
Yes, almost island
By
design.
day,
Yes, I know.
holistic health coach extraordinaire by night. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Brie. We've been talking about this for so long. We
Yes,
kind of
yes.
joked that we were just going to hug the whole time,
Yeah.
but we're actually on opposite sides of the table, so I think we're
They
doing
put
good.
this here for a reason
I know, they
to
should.
separate
I
us. I'm not over it yet. It's fine. Thank God for commercial breaks.
I know, absolutely.
But this is the perfect timing.
Yes.
Being Earth Day
Yeah.
because we're all it's kind of a theme, right? It's kind of in the air, pun kind of intended, to show a little loving to the earth, to our planet around us. But that starts with showing some loving to ourselves.
100%.
And that applies to everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't want, and the reason I'm so honest in my intro today, which, I mean, I appreciate that we were laughing about it, but it is true. I mean, I am a junk food person. We're going to talk a lot about some kind of limitations, and one of mine being having celiac disease. When I was diagnosed with that, I thought, no, I can't, because all I eat is junk food. I can't cut so much of that out.
I remember you telling me that a while
Now
ago.
I've worked around, and I still eat the junk food. I just take the gluten out. It's not good, but we have to start somewhere.
Exactly, yeah,
So
small
I
steps.
don't want anyone to hear this or watch this and think this doesn't apply to me because I'm not vegan, or I don't have time to go to the gym, or I'm physically limited in what I can do. No, there's a little bit of what we're going to talk about today for everybody.
For sure.
Right? Awesome. So I just want to go back to the beginning. If you don't mind just sharing a little bit about yourself and your journey and how you came to find yourself in this work.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to. So I was a graphic designer. I did fashion design in New York City for over 10 years. And that's the time in my life when I was running myself rampant. I had a 3+ hour commute, newly married, just kind of crazy, eating on the go, like you had said before. And I found myself with really bad stomach pains for a long time. And I kept going to doctors, and they diagnosed me with everything that I knew wasn't really true. I had that gut feeling. And one of the doctors said to me, you just have to get your gallbladder out. We're not going to test you for anything, but we feel like it's your gallbladder. So my husband and I got back in the car, and I was like, no, it's not. No one asked me about diet. No one asked me about lifestyle. So I did some research on my own. I got really interested in nutrition, and I cut out dairy. Never had another stomach ache again.
See, I totally identify with this because 25 years of, and especially the last 10 years of that, of just doctor's appointments and all these tests that no one under the age of 40 should be going through. Every medication that's sending me in the middle of my workday running to find, to just feel so nauseous. I thought, this is all worse than what I'm dealing with.
Exactly. A lot of times the side effects are.
Yeah, and it took a dermatologist, a DO, to say, why don't you just stop eating gluten?
Yeah.
Like, you could have told me that so many hundreds of dollars ago. But, yeah.
Yep. Sometimes you just have to get, full circle and kind of figure it out for yourself. So that kind of led me into thinking, like, wow, we can really heal our own bodies if we just pay attention to what's going on and put good stuff in and kind of crowd out the junk by putting the nutritious stuff in front of us. So that I feel like I kind of went through that for a reason, because it led me to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York City. I spent 2 years there when I was pregnant with my first cute little guy, and I became a holistic health coach. And I knew that I didn't want to go back into the city once I had my firstborn, because it was just the hours were too crazy, and this was a perfect job for me. So I started health coaching through a gym up in New Jersey, and that's where I found Shaklee, which is it's a #1 nutrition company in the world. I started, as we can go over later, using their green products, which got rid of my asthma, which I did not know was caused by some of the chemicals. I started taking some of their supplements and their protein. Because I was vegan, I needed some good, healthy protein, and just learning stuff. And I've kind of partnered those two together into how I'm helping people today. And the transformations are incredible when you really sit and listen to someone's story and say, like, well, I know, same thing like us. Like, you've been through all these tests, and it might be this and it might be this, but it could just be what you're eating.
Yeah.
It could be vitamins and minerals that you're missing. It could be something as easy as not getting enough protein or not getting enough healthy fats, and really going back to just looking at someone's everyday lifestyle and seeing where they can make the changes, and they're able to heal. I mean, our bodies were made to heal themselves. And that's what I learned in school, which is it's fascinating. It really is.
It's amazing. And I know we're going to expand on this later too, but if someone is listening right now and they're hearing what you say and they're feeling any of the, I mean, we're talking about stomach pain or fatigue or brain fog or nerve pain or whatever it is, what's the first step in even just getting an assessment of finding out, what might be out of
What
balance?
might be out of whack? Well, the tool that I use most in my health coaching business now is the Shackley Health Print. Okay. And if you guys go to my website, which is JESROYSTON at myshackley.com.
Spell Shackley?
SHAKLEE. You will find a health print there. It's about 20 questions. It takes about 5 minutes, and it just gives me a little bit of information about what your daily lifestyle is like, the pain that you're in, or the fatigue that you have, or the foods you're eating, the exercise you're getting, what cleaners you're using, what other things in your environment or lifestyle could be, and we can start from there. Most of the time, it really gives you great food suggestions on stuff you might be missing. But that's what I'm here for, is to really help people, kind of guide them down that path. I think that would be the first step to kind of figuring out where the problems lie. A lot of people don't even realize that they need supplementation or to change their diet or to start exercising. And this is a pretty clear-cut picture of how to do that. So that's where I start off with most of my clients, is by using the health print.
I think sometimes just having that, path to head in is so helpful. Because like I said earlier, and I am that person, when you look at the whole package of healthy living, it can be intimidating. If that's so far from where you're at right now,
sure.
It's like, how do I don't even see how I get to the end result here, and it's hard to get started on.
Yeah.
And again, I remember getting my diagnosis, again, came from a dermatologist, and what was happening was, what happened was, after everything, and I mean, I was getting 7 to 10 vials of blood drawn a week by GI doctors, going to have every test, and it was getting really bad. And in the midst of that, I thought, completely unrelated, like, oh my gosh, my luck, horrible rash all over my face. I'd never done anything like this before in my life. So I went to see a dermatologist, and he's like,
Gluten.
yeah. You're not treating your gut. What are you doing about this? I'm like, I don't know. I took this experimental drug that, is making me feel awful all the time. I'm like, no.
That's it. Yeah.
So you need to cut this out. And I thought, I can't. I can't. But I'll do it for he said, just try for, I think, 3 months was like my challenge. Try it for 3 months. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay.
I know.
There's no way I can change my lifestyle, but okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. I will never go back.
I know.
So that was like 5 years ago now. I mean, I had, aura migraines. I mean, horrible. But I would have to take off work. I couldn't see anything. I was going to physical therapy for back pain. The skin issues, not to mention the debilitating pain after I ate every time. Like,
which is
canceling
crazy,
social
you need
engagements
to
left and
eat
right.
to live.
Exactly. It's almost all a non-issue.
That's amazing.
By changing your diet.
By changing your diet. And I think one of the big themes that I loved about my nutrition school was the concept of crowding stuff out. So like you said, a lot of the times we're just like, I can't do that. I mean, that's crazy. Like, never eat dairy again, but like, I really like cheese on crackers, and I really like, a slew of other stuff. Once you start looking in packaged foods and seeing how much gluten and dairy are really in them, it's like, well, what can I eat?
Right.
But when you cut it out, you find alternatives. And one person's food is another person's poison. So you're fine with dairy, doesn't bother you.
Right.
I'm fine with gluten, but we can't have what
We
each
should
other.
just go out together and then eat what the other one can't
And just
eat.
like share the
Just
plate.
like a pile of buns. It'd be great.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I think people do get overwhelmed, but it's really small steps. And you want to add the stuff that is really good, the whole foods. The closer we get to how God put stuff on this earth, the better. Because our culture, especially I think people our age grew up in the whole like diet, non-fat, non-sugar craze. And we're eating edible food-like objects, but we're not eating food. I mean, if you really think about it, like an Oreo is not a food.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can grow.
Oh, God, I miss
I know,
Oreo.
I'm so sorry.
I miss Oreo so much.
I do too. But that's the thing. So I think that, and I'm trying to teach my kids that too. And that's when you really kind of think how children think about it. Like Ryan will say to me, well, why, is this carrot better for me than this cookie? Well, that grew out of the ground and it has all its chemical properties like it should be. Carrot cake does not, because we've taken everything and added all this stuff back in. So I would say the number one thing for the slew of people out there that
Is this why your kids are so cranky whenever I see them?
I know. And you know what? It really might be because I don't let them eat any candy. Whenever poor Bree sees them, I'm like, they just woke up from a nap. It is awful.
Say hi to Miss Bree.
No, it is. It's because I don't give them
It's because you
Oreos.
don't give them
It's the
carrot
carrots.
cake.
I know. It's so true. That really might be an issue. Craig's going to get me on that because he's always like, just give them this. And then they eat something and go crazy. And I'm like, see, I told you it's the food dye.
That's funny.
That's really awesome. I forgot about that. So I think the basic thing that everyone needs, no matter if you have health problems, whether you think you're really healthy, I find a lot of people that say like, I'm just doing fine. And then when we get to the nitty gritty, they're tired. They're not able to make it through the day.
I think that's so what it is. You don't realize where it's showing up.
Yes.
Like for me, all these physical symptoms I was noticing because I'm like, I'm 20, this isn't normal.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? And I can see how it'd be harder to diagnose that during the aging process because a lot of times, and I work with a lot with mobility and with memory disorders, we say a lot of things are normal aging issues. A lot of them aren't. There's something else going on. But anyways, I really noticed it being young and going through some of the stuff. But what I didn't realize was like brain fog.
Yeah.
Like I mean I thought, okay, I'm tired and I'm a little bit confused, but maybe I just worked really hard or
We
I
always think of an excuse.
yeah,
know.
I just
It's so
thought,
true.
well, it's because I picked up that other job or I did this choir rehearsal or whatever. And then once I changed my diet, I was so much sharper. I
And
mean,
then
I
you
could
realize you can
maintain
do
like
everything.
eye contact with people and not be like floating off somewhere.
For sure.
I just don't think people even realize how deeply they are affected.
And that's why I always have people take that assessment because it's such a great tool just to see to have people realize where they are. I don't think
Yeah.
they even realize it. Or, if they don't eat a certain amount of like fish, then they're missing the omega fatty acids that we need. So you don't really think about that all the time. But when it's down on paper and it kind of shows you like, hey, you should really be doing this and you should be adding this in, you kind of start to say, well, maybe that's why I really don't feel like great. Or maybe that's why come 8 o'clock at night, I'm done. Or why I can't get up in the morning. We're like a generation of snooze hitters. And I feel like we really should be able to get up in the morning.
Yep.
And get to be able to do what we have to do. So I think for most people, I would say processed food. Like, get it out. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true because whole foods are what's going to nourish our body. I think a lot of times too, we're very worried about calories. And a calorie is not a calorie is not a calorie. It's the nutrition that you're getting. And we're very overfed, but malnourished at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where our society is because we're on the run. We're grabbing Big Macs or whatever, you know, and and that unicorn Starbucks that I can't even believe is real. I really thought that was a joke for like 2 weeks, and then I went into a Starbucks and I was like, oh, you can order that.
But I heard there was like a huge fad last week. Everyone had one. When I was there today doing work, I didn't see one. I think people were like, okay,
because it's really
we got it.
I know.
That's enough.
Everyone took their selfie with it, and now they're done.
That's it.
It's
now my skin's turning weird colors. I'm turning into a unicorn. I'm over it.
Exactly. Can't have any more of that.
Yeah, I think that it's a good rule of thumb that maybe be suspicious of any food that's colored like a unicorn.
Yeah, that might be it.
Because I don't think those naturally exist, right?
No.
Speaking of creativity, because that was creative marketing.
Oh, that's for sure.
I mean, let's
As
just
the
give
designer
props for
side
that.
of me,
right,
can
right.
absolutely
Yes,
understand.
I love it. So on that vein, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. When we come back, this whole idea of reducing the brain fog, increasing the energy, this fuels creativity. I know both of us being in creative fields, I want to talk a little bit about just exactly how living healthy can promote creativity in the workplace and in your personal life as well. Stick around. Are you a music therapist or part of the music therapy community? If so, we're excited to announce Aria. Aria is a mobile app that provides tools, resources, and community for today's modern music therapist. You can plan, implement, and share music therapy interventions with the community, keep track of your schedule and contacts, and learn from other members in our community section. Best of all, Aria is free. Visit arianow.com to get started today. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, The toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon. I've got with me the lovely Jessica Royston today. Thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you.
Before we get into it, because we'll literally just sit like this.
Like
the cameras will be
hours,
off, and we'll just be talking until next week.
Exactly.
So before we do that, you have a giveaway for us today.
Yeah, so we are talking about Earth Day and the sustainability of cleaners and also their effects on health, like Bree was talking about with her bleach car, which we're going to get out pretty soon. You don't need bleach. So if anyone wants to call in, or you guys can write us on Facebook, whatever you want to do, about what cleaner, I guess we'll give it to the first person who calls in.
First person either. If we're in the show, please don't yell at me if I don't see my Facebook while I'm on air.
Yeah,
if you
that's true.
really, really want
If you want this, and you
call
do,
in.
'cause they're
And
awesome.
you do, call in.
Yeah, and give me the one cleaner that you feel like you cannot live without, and I will send you a Shackley alternative that is good for your health, good for the environment, and will not make your brain crazy.
That's amazing. And please don't be afraid to admit anything, because
Nothing.
I've thrown all of my dirty laundry out. And she's already handing me things
Yes.
like, please just eat this.
I'm just gonna have
please,
this in the microwave.
please start using this. I'm concerned about you.
No shame at all, because you know what? There was a time in my life I did not use green cleaners, and I was having asthma attacks, and I was wondering why. And I changed it over, and amazingly, they're gone. And this is something that's really important. And we were tying in a little bit to mental health too. So a lot of cleaners that are out there now, some even of the green cleaners, they have formaldehyde, they have chlorine, they have a ton of stuff that just they're neurotoxins and they're endocrine disruptors. So you know, as well as I do, we have tons of thyroid problems.
Yes.
Tons. There are so many women that are having problems with infertility. And these toxins that are in our air, they're in our cleaners. Unfortunately, they're in our pesticides with foods. Like what you saying, we need to get the DDT off our apples, because they're things that are actually interrupting the way that our the science inside our body is working. So if you are eating organic and making good health choices, but you're still scrubbing your toilet bowl with bleach, you're getting those the neurotoxins in your head, and they're affecting you. And most of the time they're odorless. So we don't even notice that we're using them, the air fresheners that we plug in the wall, all that kind of stuff. And there was a study that was just on that said that actually most people's indoor air is more toxic than outside.
Oh, geez.
So open your windows
Yeah.
and use some green cleaners, and it will make a huge impact not only on our family but on the environment. We're talking about Earth Day. One of the reasons why I partner with the Shackley and why I love them so much, they were the first corporation to go climate neutral, which means no carbon footprint.
Oh, my gosh.
They offset all their it's wonderful, the stuff they have done.
Wow.
So the way that their cleaners come are in concentrate. So you actually, let me see if I can remember the fact exactly. One bottle like this size, a regular 16-ounce bottle.
For those on the radio,
yes,
how big
exactly.
is
I'm sorry. A 16-ounce bottle. It would cost you the amount that you use that, I think, over 5,000 bottles of Windex. So think about all that in our landfills, and you're using one bottle as opposed. So there's your good deed for Earth Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for your family, and for your lungs, and for your health, and for your kids.
And for your wallet when you look at it like that.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're...
And that's the thing. Even, other green cleaning lines, and some of them work great, and some of them, they're expensive. When you go to switch over and you're like, this is like $13, but, it really makes a difference. You're just using it and you're adding your own water, and that's what's amazing. So that's something. So someone call in and tell me, say, I cannot live without my mother-in-law. If she would say she's moving right now, or else she'd be here calling I cannot live without my bleach. And we have a bleach alternative that actually outperforms Lysol, 99% or something like that.
Okay, we need to talk about this, because that's awesome. I know so many, again, I know I represent a small field, but that is a major concern within our field, is making sure that all the materials that we're using are clean, that it's we're talking about being in vulnerable situations like hospitals and senior communities. We can't, schools, you can't transfer those germs from one person to the next. And it's almost unavoidable sometimes. So that's a godsend. One quick thing that just made me think of it when you were talking, when in my session today, when we were talking about the essential oils, one of the oils was eucalyptus. And one of the women in our group shared that she hangs, and I remember actually, Mom, awesome idea on this, 'cause I remember you encouraged me to do this. she would hang eucalyptus in her bathroom so that it would kind of be activated by the steam and it would disinfect
Yeah.
the room.
Yeah.
So she's like, so I don't use, Air Wicks or Lysol, any of
Don't
that.
need it. Don't need it.
That's
and
awesome.
it's made out of botanicals. I mean, that's what the fantastic part is.
Yeah.
It's just taking something from nature that does its own job and just putting it in your house, and it does its own job.
That is
amazing.
so cool.
It's crazy.
So
go mom.
Yeah, right. And I love when that woman shared that with me. I was like, what a creative
Yes.
idea.
Yeah.
What a outside the box. Like we're talking, sometimes it does require a little outside the box thinking to have a healthier lifestyle. So kind of one promotes the other. But how have you noticed in your work after changing your diet, making some of these lifestyle changes, how did that affect creativity in your work?
That's a great question. And it has been incredible because as a mom of 2 boys and owning my own design company and health coaching, I don't get sick days anymore. Like there is no such thing as sick days. And I need my natural energy. I need to be able to go, I wake up at 5 a.m. most days and go to like 9 or 10 at night. And I need all that time to pack in everything. So
I'm the laziest person ever, but okay, continue.
No. I'm like a little bit. We'll get you there. We'll get you there. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know if we're going to get me there, but thank you. That's very kind.
And I think too, for me, like when I am starting a new project for a client and they give me all these ideas and all these things that they need, and I sit at my computer, I don't get it here. I have to go out into nature. Like I go take a walk on the beach, or I go out in our neighborhood and I look at being from a native New Yorker like you, like the palm trees, I'm like, they're so inspiring. So I need to be out and connect with nature too. And that's why when I feel like I eat closer to nature, I drink closer to nature, and I supplement closer to nature, my brain fog is gone. I mean, I used to be a tired, cranky New Yorker that was like on the train, just like pushing everyone. I was 9 months pregnant, just like pushing everyone out of my way. And I didn't really, even though I had a creative job, it was tough because my brain was fried.
Yeah.
I mean, we were pushing out so many designs at one time. The fashion industry in New York is amazing, but it is like crazy, like
high
cutthroat.
demand.
It's really high demand. Yeah. And now I feel like because my whole being is just healthier, I get my work done faster, and I'm able to create better and get what my client needs and see their vision and match it with my artistic ability, because there's no brain fog there. There's no fatigue. My body's just running on what it's supposed to be running on.
That's awesome.
And that's been huge. And it actually causes me, the more that I learn about health, it, like you said, I'm thinking outside the box. So there's different things that I do that I bring into my work too, and a lot of people can see that as well, which is fun.
I love that. And so I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot
Go
for
ahead.
a minute. So we talked about how you can kind of join this journey at your own pace and wherever you're at, right? It doesn't have to go from 0 to 60 as far as starting a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, and I am on the board, you know that I'm an advocate for making these changes. I can see the benefit, but where I struggle when I'm thinking about eating healthy and making these choices is I'm hungry. Like I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
And I mean, also I have a unique situation with a really, fast, high metabolism.
Yeah.
I burn things very quickly. I want to be active. I want to be,
Of course,
doing all these things, but I'm starving.
Starving. When do you find yourself the most starving during the day?
All
Like
of the
all
day.
the time. Okay, breakfast. Do you breakfast?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you have for breakfast? You can put me on the spot. I'm going to put you on
Yeah,
the
that's
spot.
true. Like a Luna bar
Okay.
and coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, breakfast, your mama told you, everybody out there, breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yeah.
You really want to get a lot of high quality calories in your breakfast so that when you are on the road driving from Jupiter to Palm Beach Gardens to Boca, you have something in your system that's going to keep you sustained. So high protein. We need protein first thing in the morning. A lot of our culture is very like bagel and coffee breakfast.
Right.
We need protein. Like
So
number
what
one.
is the quickest?
Quickest way?
Yeah.
Smoothies.
Okay,
Yeah.
want to hear the smoothie story?
This is
everyone?
going to be fantastic.
Oh
Go
my
on. You guys are going to enjoy that.
So not that we're setting this up. We didn't fully talk about this, but I did ask a question. Was this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Great. Like, so what do I do? I'm in the process of having a weight gain
Yes.
goal that I want to reach. What products does your company, Shackley, offer? And she explained that, okay, here's this great protein powder.
Yeah.
And you just need to make it in a smoothie. And I was like, well, that's great, but like, how does one make a smoothie, And she says, will you use a blender? Do you?
As I'm typing it back, I'm like, Offensive? I'm not so
With like the cry laugh face. I'm like, oh, she thinks I'm being funny. I said, no, I live with my dog, and if it's not something I can make in a saucepan, it doesn't get made in my house. I do not own a blender. So we really are talking on a spectrum here, people. So you offered some great blender solutions to me. Apparently this is a thing most people should have in their house.
Yeah, so the NutriBullet, which is like $99 at Bed Bath & Beyond, it grinds
Can you use
everything.
the 20% off
You can
coupon?
definitely use the 20%. I have used the 20% off coupon, absolutely.
That's awesome.
And that's just my favorite one because it really, it breaks up your food and all the nutrients. And the Shaklee Life Shake, I mean, I have drank every protein powder like in America because I went vegan so long ago and I knew I needed that. This is a complete meal. This will keep you full until almost lunchtime.
Okay.
And it's actually more than just protein. It has probiotics in it, which you know for gut health, that's huge. It has omega-3 fatty acids. It has a whole slew of vitamins and minerals in it. And I like to blend it up. Some people just like put it, again, I'm reaching for this for people on the radio, just like a shaker cup. But it does not. That's not the best way to do it. You really want to.
I have one of those.
You
so
do
I
have
can
one
do
of those.
that.
So you can do the shake, but you're still going to get the NutriBullet.
Okay.
You know, blend it up with some almond milk or coconut milk. Put your favorite fruits and veggies in it. Frozen kale. Like if people that do not like greens, like my son says, I've never eaten kale, and I'm like, you do every day because it's in a smoothie. So it kind of blends everything up. You get this like fruity, and down here in South Florida, when it's hot out, come on, that's like
it's
the best
awesome.
thing.
Yeah.
Stick a straw in that and throw it in your car, and you're good to go. And that way you're really starting your day with the most nutrient-packed meal that you can. And then from then on, I find it's much easier for people to make a healthy choice for lunch. Because when they go somewhere and there's a choice of like a Lunchable, do they still make those? I hope not. Maybe Lunchables or
I remember begging for it when I was a child, though.
I know.
Yeah.
They probably still do make them. I hope not. But, or like, you know, they have bento boxes now with like hummus and carrots, and they have hard-boiled eggs. They have nuts, all these kind of stuff. You're going to reach for that because you think mentally in your head, you're like, well, I've already made this one good decision.
Yeah.
Why, you know, and my energy's up.
Right. And I'm
Why
not
would-
starving.
And you're not starving.
Because I admit that's how I kind of felt today. Was a lot of time on the road, more than my normal day as far as not having time to even stop or even put something in my car. That's a lot of excuses. I absolutely could have put something in my car.
Yeah.
But in my mind, is how I justify it. I'm so hungry and I have a half hour.
Yeah.
What can I eat literally on my way into my next thing?
Yeah, I think you have to. The biggest part that I work with my clients is planning. And it stinks. Like I say, take your your Sunday afternoon and just cut up a bunch of vegetables and go. I know it's really daunting. These are small steps, but really, if you have that for the week, or Trader Joe's has like great bags of like nuts and seeds, and they have nut butters and a whole bunch of things that you can get. And like you have to think like non-perishable stuff that you can store in your car because you're on the road all the time.
Yeah.
You and your cute little guitar. Like have your glove box full of those kind of snacks.
Okay.
And then for people that do have refrigeration at work or fresh fruit, you don't have to refrigerate that.
Yeah.
So bring a banana, bring peanut butter to slap on the banana if you like that, or simple things. Again, whole foods are really great in the fact that they travel well because you don't have to make a lot. A lot of the snack foods are just almonds, banana,
Right.
apple, all that stuff. So if you have that stuff on hand and you don't have the other processed garbage in your house, you're going to pick that.
Yeah.
So our problem as a family for a while was we were buying kid snacks, which even though like I buy the organic, bunny crackers, they're still crackers, and they're processed. So I was trying to wean my kids away from that, and I was noticing that they were not going for the grapes because I gave them the choice.
Right.
And my husband had the choice. And he's been doing awesome because he's realizing how Whole Foods have really changed his life. I mean, they're rebuilding an office down there, and he needs the energy to do it. So
For sure.
I think planning and just eating close to nature.
Absolutely.
Two big
As
things.
we're talking, we've been talking a lot about, business owners and entrepreneurs and all this. I mean, again, it applies to everyone.
Every
but
single person needs it.
Or parents, anyone who needs that extra kick, extra energy, you're trying to advance in some area of your life. We're talking directly to you.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk about caregivers, both
Yes.
professional and personal, those that are literally all of their free time energy is going towards the needs of others. How can we apply this to their life as well? We'll be right back.
Got it.
Are you a music therapist or part of the music therapy community? If so, we're excited to announce Aria. Aria is a mobile app that provides tools, resources, and community for today's modern music therapist. You can plan, implement, and share music therapy interventions with the community, keep track of your schedule and contacts, and learn from other members in our community section. Best of all, Aria is free. Visit arianow.com to get started today. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com, engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon. I have with me tonight Jessica Royston. Thank you again so much for being here.
My pleasure.
We still have an amazing giveaway out there.
Yes.
Talk about that quickly one more time.
Okay, so call in and tell me what cleaner you cannot live without. And I will give you the green alternative because you will be happy, you'll be saving the planet.
Yes.
And you'll be saving money.
You will not be driving around in this bleach car like I have going on, just with my air down, looking like a golden retriever out the window. Window down, hair down. Yeah, if you see that going on, it's me avoiding my toxins, which I'm going to replace.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, I have to.
Okay, you have to.
Yeah, because,
it's really important.
Okay, but not only like if I'm smelling that, what is that doing to all the people I'm like sharing this with? And I know that they're commonplace things, like bleach is a pretty commonplace thing. We smell
but
bleach.
They're in places where people are already sick, and that's what kind of scares me.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get every school in America and every hospital to stop using bleach because there's alternatives. I'm going to do it.
If anyone
I just announced that goal on air, so
yes,
I'm
you did. You are accountable for it.
There we go.
I'm holding you to that. You can call into the show, 888-565-1470. If we don't get any callers in the next, 10 minutes, we're rolling that over to Facebook. So first person who shares openly, come clean.
Yeah.
Nothing can be worse than what I've shared tonight, okay? So come clean. What is the cleaning product you cannot live without? And Jess has an alternative for you, and she's going to send it to you. So this is awesome. We want to take advantage of this. So, again, we've been talking about, in general, anyone who just wants to, succeed in life, which I'm pretty sure is everyone, how this can benefit you. But there are a lot of caregivers out there, both personal and professional, who we neglect our own needs. We just do when the focus is on someone else. Why is this even more important for those of you?
For them, well, if you are not feeling well, then the person that you're trying to help feel well is not going to feel well either because you don't have that energy, you don't have that, you don't have what you need inside your body to give to other people, and you also can't help them live healthier lifestyles if you're not living a healthy lifestyle. So
60% of caregivers for individuals with Alzheimer's disease are more likely to pass away before the one they're caring for. 60%.
That's an incredible fact.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Think about how demanding that
Of course, it really is. And I think one of the most important things, too, that we have to remember, a lot of the diseases that you and your musical therapy group deal with all the time, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, although they have a genetic factor, there's a huge study, for the last couple of years, epigenetics. Have you heard of that? So huge studies have been coming out that although sometimes we can be predispositioned for something, our lifestyle and our environment really are kind of what click those cells on and off. So you could have the propensity to get Alzheimer's, but you could kind of, if you're making the right lifestyle choices, you could either get a less severe case. Sure. And again, it all goes back to the toxins that are on our earth, just by the year that we live in and what we have to do, or the food that we're putting into our body, or I'm going to quote food because it's sometimes not really food.
It makes sense for cancer as well, right?
Well, yeah, and I think something like 85% of disease is caused by food, which is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's really, really scary. So if you are caring for someone and you are trying to pour your heart and soul into making their life better, you have to take care of your own.
Right.
And I think, that statistic is staggering that 60% pass away before.
Yeah.
And so I think for caregivers, again, it's really about preparing. It's about knowing that you're worth it. Like you need the stuff in your body that's going to keep you well, because if you are constantly giving this is like a big theme that I come up with moms too. Like I say, like, well, what'd you eat today? Oh, whatever my kids didn't eat on the plate. And I'm like, then how are you even able to take care of them?
Yeah.
Because you're, at the end of the day, you're just slumped over and you're just not doing your best. So I think for them, educating themselves on really what they're putting into their body and putting around their body, and then passing that on to the person. Like you said, when you're cleaning with stuff, or when you are eating certain types of food and you feel sluggish, they can feel that energy.
Yeah.
People feel each other's energy on like, especially with your job, a very close level. So if you're pushing someone around a beautiful garden and you're going like 2 miles an hour because you're so tired, or you're playing your guitar like this, they're going to react to that.
Absolutely.
And I think the positive energy that people have also, people are going to say, like, people have said to me, well, how do you have so much energy? And it's like my joy to share. Well, I eat really good food. I supplement what I need to. I get out in the fresh air and exercise. And it's like, and you can do that too. So it's about sharing the knowledge.
It's when I think, though, that I have the same amount of hours in a day that you do, that it does depress me slightly, because, like, what am I doing with my life?
No, but you're driving a lot. You need to eat those healthy
this is
snacks
true.
in the car, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, good
Use
call.
that time wisely.
Like, just give me some exercises I can do in the car.
Exactly.
I will have my snacks and I'll lift them
Yes.
also, and then I'll just work
Perfect.
everything. It'll be fine.
Exactly.
So here's what the irony of it all, and there's so many things that are ironic with caregivers, is that they probably know these things, because they probably have stayed up countless nights researching the healthiest foods they could probably feed their loved one.
Their loved ones. Yep.
Yeah. So this is really just adding one step. When you're preparing these, you're making sure that person has 3 square meals a day with the things that are going to promote healthy everything, mind, body, everything. Do the same courtesy for yourself.
Exactly. Share it. I mean, when you're cooking for someone, share it. And when you're learning that there is a new supplement, vitamin, mineral, anything like that, that could help your loved one, look at how you're feeling too. And that's what's so amazing about this health print, is that it really maps out for you what you could be missing. Because you don't really think about, well, I don't really eat this often, but it probably doesn't matter. Well, you could be missing a major vitamin or mineral that could be throwing off your entire system. And if we found out and just replace that, like you said, when you stopped eating gluten, done. You're immediately better.
Can I just share something today? Just a little moment.
Yeah.
I went working in one of my sessions, one of the hospitals I was in, and they were like, I didn't think that was you because your hair is so different. What are you doing? Okay. It's taking vitamins.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I'm super healthy. That is like the one vitamin I take, but that has made such a difference.
Huge difference.
And I look forward to it, because I know the way that it'll make me look outwardly, which I know it sounds kind of vain, but when you do feel good outward, it makes you feel good.
Of course. Why do you think
too.
most people start healthy regimens?
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're like not really looking that great, and they don't. And then of course it goes into not feeling that great, and that's why we make the difference. And vitamins, if you're lacking nutrients, I mean, our body is craving, and it gives us signs that we don't even realize. Sometimes we crave a certain kind of sweet because we're missing vitamin C.
Okay.
And the connection is crazy, but we don't really think about that. We just say, like, I want a Hostess cupcake.
Right.
No, your body's missing something, and it's telling us. So it's really important, and your hair does look beautiful.
Well, that's why I launched into that whole story. Actually, just wanted that compliment.
Exactly.
So thank
Well,
you.
you got it. There we go.
And here's your money. All right, for those on the radio, I was slipping or fake money. Okay, so I want to give you a chance before we wrap up today, because this went so fast. And you have to come back. Will you come back?
I will absolutely come back.
Please do.
I
Thank
promise.
you. Thank you very much. I know it's a hike from
It's
Jupiter.
okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
I
My
appreciate
husband's
it.
good. He's watching the kids. He's taking them
Thanks,
fishing or something
Craig.
crazy. I
Oh,
know. And then
nice.
going back and building the office out
How does
tonight.
that make you
It's
feel
crazy.
as a vegan? Oh, that's a whole other show.
You know what? I actually started eating fish for health.
Oh, you're
For
a
health.
pescatarian.
I'm a pescatarian with no dairy. I don't even know if there's a word for what I really am, but that's what it is. I'm a vegan that eats locally caught Florida fish.
Oh, and it's specific about where they're from,
Very
too.
specific. I know. So that's why when he's fishing, I'm like, catch me something I can eat. Clean it yourself.
There
bring
you
it back and I'll
go.
eat it.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
it is a spectrum. Everyone is welcome
100%.
on this health journey.
Everybody.
How can people get in touch with you?
So the best way, like I mentioned before, if you guys take the health print, the assessment I was talking about, I get your information. I will not spam you. I promise. I'm just here to help. But that gives me your email and just a little bit about where your needs are and how I can help you. So that is I'm going to spell it out again because I didn't spell it last time. JESROYSTON.MYSHAKLEE.com. And then when you log on to my Shackley website, you're going to see a health print. It's about 20 quick questions, take you 5 minutes. I will get that information, and then I can reach out to you from there and help you with household cleaners. If you are missing any supplements, if you're low on protein, we can talk about doing shakes. We can talk about your diet. It gives like diet guidelines and exercise and pretty much anything. That's your starting off point. I think that's really the best way to go.
Is there a financial commitment when you take the assessment?
Not at all.
Okay.
That's just me calling you and reaching out and seeing if we can get you on some kind of plan that will help your nutrition.
Okay.
And therefore everything else.
That's awesome. Also, we have a link to your page on the Connections by Aria Facebook page. So if you missed that amazing spelling of everything.
That was pretty good.
That was really
See,
impressive.
my brain fog's gone.
Yes.
Because I'm not a great speller.
She couldn't do that before she had whatever's in that cup there.
Shackley Performance.
Yes,
Just clean
there you
everything
go.
out.
And they are not a sponsor of this show, but we'll work on that. But you can find her page there on our Facebook page. Again, if you haven't checked out our live video feed, we're at facebook.com/connections by Aria. All of our shows are archived there. So if you are just joining us now, you want to go back and check out this conversation with Jessica. Again, we talked about everything. We talked about how creativity drives us in our personal and professional life. But in order to be driven to reach these milestones and these successes, we have to take care of us first. It's a mind-body connection, and it can be as simple as making a few easy decisions throughout your day. So in our last few minutes here, just rest 1 minute.
Yeah.
If someone is just honestly getting started on this, like they are just inspired by your amazing tips, what is the first step that they can do? I know you talk about the assessment, but what is the first thing they can do in their routine, their daily routine?
Daily routine, get rid of processed food. Go back to Whole Foods, not the store. Although you can buy some of the stuff there.
I was going to say, they also
totally stole. Yeah, they totally stole that name. But really, go back to one ingredient foods. I mean, eat the stuff that like our great grandmas grew and ate, and I think that's just the best thing to do, because that is really what is going to drive your system into a health overhaul. And make small decisions. Do not feel guilty if you quote unquote fall off the wagon. I'm here to help if you guys need to reach out and get some really solid tips. But just make one change at a time. Crowd out what's on your plate with the good stuff, and then all the bad stuff just magically disappears and you don't miss it, because cravings 100% can be changed.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, it's so true.
Happy Earth Day, everyone.
Yes.
Do the earth and yourself a favor and like appreciate what it's giving us. Food that literally came out of the ground.
In its perfect whole self.
It's so beautiful.
It's amazing.
I love that. Make a garden.
Yes.
Yes, grow your food.
Grow your food.
Okay, now we're getting crazy.
I know.
Thank you so much, Jess. This is so much fun having you on.
Bree.
You can check out her website. It's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/connections by Aria. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. Thank you for listening to Connections. We hope you enjoyed today's program and discover new ways to bring creativity into your home or place of work. If you have any questions for our host, Bree, or today's guest, please email them at bree@pbmti.com or call at 561-747-9944. Thank you for sharing the music with us.